Joe Tate has done plenty of terrible things during his time in Emmerdale, but going after a girl who has already died? That's shocking. He has turned into a truly disappointing person. It even makes you question his fiancée Dawn Taylor for not realizing what kind of spiteful bully he really is. Even Graham Foster is stunned by how cruel Joe is becoming. He was horrified to discover that Joe created a bank account in Lydia Dingle's name to wrongly accuse her of stealing from Kim Tate. This was all driven by revenge after Joe found out Kim planned to leave Home Farm to Lydia in her will. Lydia did nothing wrong, yet Joe heartlessly decided to make her suffer anyway. There's no doubt Joe cannot handle losing. However, his latest move isn't about Kim this time. Interestingly, he is also being accused of attempting to poison her with mushrooms, but that's a separate issue. In this situation, Joe is pushing ahead with taking over Butlers Farm. He shows no respect for it being a former Dingle family home, or the place where Moira Dingle built her farming life. He wants to wipe away all traces of their presence and continue his quest for control. As work starts on the land, Joe instructs the workers to tear down everything in one of the farm's old fields, including Holly's memorial. Holly was Moira's daughter, who tragically died from a drug overdose. That alone is disgraceful, but it becomes even worse because Kim had personally promised Moira in prison that Holly's field and resting place would be kept safe and untouched after the farm's sale. But Kim clearly didn't anticipate just how ruthless Joe could be. It's likely Joe will face consequences for his actions, but the question is, what will they be? Emmerdale reveals Tracy's exit scenes as Kane prepares for an emotional farewell. But the big question is, will Kane arrive in time? Next week, Tracy Robinson experiences a mix of feelings as she gets ready to leave her loved ones behind for a job offer she simply can't refuse. Even though she feels guilty about taking her daughter Frankie away from her grandfather Kane Dingle while he is fighting prostate cancer, Tracy knows she must focus on her own future. Looking back over the past year, Tracy believes she has wasted too much time working at the village shop while struggling financially. Her desperation even pushed her to steal from Eric Pollard. Now, however, she has a chance to earn a proper income after receiving a job offer from Cara Robinson, the mother of her late husband Nate. It's an incredibly tough decision, but Tracy needs to put herself and Frankie first, our Emmerdale insider explains. It hasn't been easy telling Kane that they're leaving, especially knowing how much he needs support. Still, she hopes that no matter how he feels, he won't let Frankie go without saying goodbye. Tracy's exit comes as actress Amy Walsh goes on maternity leave. She recently welcomed her second child with her husband, Toby Alexander Smith, known for playing Gray Atkins on EastEnders from 2019 to 2022. The last time Tracy left, she moved to Nottingham to start fresh after her marriage to Nate fell apart. While living there, she began a relationship with a man named Ollie and even became engaged to him. However, when she returned to Emmerdale, she found herself drawn back to Nate and ended her engagement to try again with the father of her child. Since their reunion, there has been so much pain and tragedy that it's no wonder Tracy is ready for a new chapter elsewhere. Even so, she is overwhelmed with emotion as she says goodbye to her sister Vanessa and prepares to leave. The question remains, will Kane make it in time to see them and give his granddaughter a proper goodbye before they drive off? Emmerdale actress left gutted as the show undergoes a big shake-up and major changes unfold. All good things eventually come to an end. After news broke that Robert Sugden and Aaron Dingle would take control of Butlers Farm, many viewers and former Emmerdale stars celebrated the soap returning to its classic roots. However, one person who isn't entirely happy is Natalie J. Robb. Her character Moira Dingle was placed in a difficult position and ultimately had no choice but to sell her share of the farm to Kim Tate. While the Tates move forward with their new plans, the Dingles remain heavily involved in ongoing drama. Moira is dealing with life in prison, and her husband Kane has recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. Because of these storylines, Rob has spent more time away from the farm set, which she admitted has been particularly upsetting for her. "I was really gutted when I heard about it, I won't lie," she told the Mirror. "I've been there every day and always enjoyed working on that set, but at the same time, you have to accept change." The show is returning to its roots with the Tates, Dingles and Sugdens, and that opens the door for plenty of fresh storylines. Still, everything good does come to an end. It feels a bit strange, but we're creating some strong material right now. Rob, who joined the soap in 2009, also discussed Moira's time in prison, suggesting it will lead to a kind of rebirth for the character later on. "I think prison will toughen her up," she explained. "The way she carries herself will change because she's lost everything. Things she once ignored will start to matter more now. It's almost like a new beginning for her. When she gets out, being around people again might feel unusual after spending so long alone without the usual chaos in her life." Rob isn't the only Emmerdale star to react to the major changes at Butlers Farm, as former cast members like Kelvin Fletcher, Adam Thomas, Jeff Hordley, and Lyndon Ogborn have also shared their opinions. Emmerdale will see Jacob confront Dr. Todd as their troubling storyline heats up. But how will she react? Next week, Jacob Sugden makes a bold move by standing up to Dr. Todd at the hospital. After weeks of being targeted, the young trainee finally challenges her behaviour, but it may come at a cost. Viewers have recently watched Jacob struggle at work, becoming the focus of Dr. Todd's harsh criticism. The senior doctor constantly belittles him, claiming it's part of his training. She even added him to her elite mentorship program after overhearing him complain about her, tightening her control over him. The pressure and her cruel remarks have left Jacob questioning his future. In upcoming scenes, Jacob is shocked when he sees Dr. Todd roughly handling and shouting at an elderly patient. Unable to stay silent, he decides to confront her over her unprofessional conduct. Despite fearing the consequences, Jacob feels compelled to defend the patient and make his voice heard. An Emmerdale insider explained, "Jacob wants the best for his patients. He's stayed quiet when Dr. Todd has been critical of him, even when she's been very harsh. But seeing a patient treated badly crosses a line, and he feels he must step in." However, his brave decision could make him an even bigger target for Dr. Todd's bullying. Dr. Todd, played by Caroline Harker, first appeared last year as part of Jacob's training. Her return brings a new storyline focused on workplace bullying. Harker previously said she was excited to explore the character's complexity, adding that the issue is very relevant. Emmerdale airs on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available to stream on ITVX.